Hey, what's up everybody, this is Will. Welcome to the 7th edition of Sports Urban Legend. I'm your host, of course, William Rameau. And today we're going to be talking about should Jacob deGrom win the Cy Young Award or not? Or should it be Max Scherzer? But before we get into that year-long debate, I want to thank you guys for listening to this episode. And if you like this episode, feel free to subscribe to it, like it, share it, comment on it. And feel free to click the subscribe button and hit the notification button so you can be updated for future episodes. But with that said, let's dive right into the debate. And as you all know, I'm a huge Mets fan. So, I'm trying not to be biased in this situation. But looking at it purely as a baseball fan, I think Jacob deGrom should truly win this. And I know there's a lot of knocks of him winning it because of his record. He has a 7-7 record thanks to last night's game when he defeated the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, that makeup game last night when the Yankees lost to the Mets by the final score of 7-5. So, well, actually rather 8-5. So he improved to 7-7 because at one point he was 5-7 thanks to the lack of run support. But fortunately for him, he won his last two starts in the Mets. These last two, his last two outings, they've actually put up the run support that he's desperately needed these past. This pretty much the whole entire season when you look at it. He hasn't won it. Prior to last week, he didn't win in 51 days. That's how long he hasn't won in months, since like April. So kudos to Jacob deGrom. He has the best ERA in the baseball. It went a little bit up. It went from 1.77 to 1.81 because he gave up 3 runs. 2 of it was earned because one of it, was caused by another error, which is basically what happens in every Jacob deGrom start this entire year. He's been a trooper. He's put up the brave front. He's been a team player. All he cares about is the team win and not his own wins. But admittedly, this is his goal to win a Cy Young. Aside from winning a title, but obviously that's out of the question this year because they're like 45 games out of first place, and that's pretty sad because they start off the year with 11-1 start, and it's all been downhill ever since then. So, hopefully the Mets will re-sign him and extend the contract because he has 2 years left on his contract, and there's a lot of demand for a type of pitcher like that. So, in the offseason, he could be traded. Syndergaard could be traded. Wheeler, who's been having his best year ever, could be traded, and Matz, if he could get past his injury-prone injuries that he's been going through. As of right now, he's injured right now as we're speaking. So if he could get past that injury hurdle, Mets have 4 phenomenal pitchers, and unfortunately they're saddled with Jason Vargas, but that's an entirely other story I can get into. That's a whole nother episode. I could just spend like 8 hours about how bad that signing was, because I didn't want that guy to begin with. If you listen to, my Sports Urban Legend podcast on Blog Talk Radio for the past 9 years or so. So, basically, my thinking is that Jacob deGrom definitely deserves it. He has the lowest ERA in baseball. His strikeout totals are near 2,000. Obviously, it dwarfs in comparison to Scherzer's strikeout totals and his win-loss totals, which is as of right now 15-5. But when you factor in the fact that the Mets, the bullpen, and the offense has literally blown double-digit games for deGrom, like at least 12 or 13 at the minimum of starts that he had the lead, and they blew the lead for him. So he's been a tough luck loser or no decision guy, but it's good that these last 2 starts he's got the victory, and it was a great win for him. He struck out 12 Yankee batters. The Mets offense, showed up. Rosario, he hit a leadoff home run. Conforto hit one as well, opposite field. Nimmo hit one. Todd Frazier hit one against his former team, and then the Yankee killer Jose Bautista, he hit his 19th home run at the new Yankee Stadium, which is the most of any visitor as of right now. So all in all, the Mets have been playing a little bit well. I think they've won 5 of their last 6. They're about to take the field in any moment now, as I'm talking right now. But too little, too late. And the most important thing about the Mets is who's going to be their GM. Are they going to sign Kim Nag or Jed Hoyer? The list goes on and on and on. There's a lot of guys, and in Kim Nag's point, women who are capable that could potentially be the Mets next GM, and they definitely got to go outside the organization. I know John Rickle has a huge reputation as being a great mind for baseball, but I think they need to go outside the organization and get somebody, even if they have to go back and get Gary LaRocque, who's part of the Cardinals, and he was in their system when Minaya was the GM. Anybody like that, anybody who's a good, sound baseball man, doesn't necessarily have to be purely an analytical type of guy, but if you can mix analytics and just baseball, observation, Mets cannot get this next GM wrong. Alderson, he did a very good job, got them to the championship in 2015, but unfortunately the team is slow, too much veterans that are over the hill, and they're slow as this car that's driving by making all this noise. They're making all these noise, but the Mets aren't doing anything. So in this offseason, they've gotta make some moves, man, because 2015 seemed like 15 years ago. It's time for a change. Mets gotta do something. And to me, in my opinion, they gotta lock up all these starting pitchers. They gotta lock up Jacob deGrom. They gotta lock up Syndergaard. They gotta lock up Wheeler. They gotta lock up Matz. Get rid of Jason Vargas by any means necessary. And they gotta sign Machado and Kimbrel. But knowing the Mets, they're most likely not gonna sign anybody of value anyway. So this is the year. This is a lost season. So hopefully McNeil can continue to do what he's doing. Hopefully they'll call up Peter Alonso, who's hitting well in AAA right now as we speak. But right now it looks like they're gonna wait for Jay Bruce to rehab and come back and play first and the outfield. So I don't know if Alonso's gonna even pop up this year. But in any case, the Mets cannot get this next GM wrong. They've got to fire on all cylinders, because it's a sad state for the New York Mets. But fortunately, hopefully, Jacob deGrom couldn't get the Cy Young, because he's pitched better than everybody. And if it wasn't for the lack of the Mets run support for him during his starts, and the defense and the bullpen blowing his games, this guy could have easily been, on record-wise, Scherzer or even Severino on the Yankees, who deGrom ironically beat last night. So basically, deGrom gets my vote. I hope he gets this Cy Young vote, and hopefully he can win all these games out, so he could be over 500 and it won't be an issue. So with that said, if you like this video, please feel free to like it, share it, comment on it, and of course hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that. Click down that notification bell so you can be updated for future episodes. With that said, I'm William Ramon. See you guys next week or next time. Peace. Thanks for joining me.